Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail, and today we're going to be taking a look at The Swapper, a game that was released by Facepalm Games just today, May 30th, and it has really surprised me. You may say, hey, this is just another puzzle platformer, but man, this is a really good game with good mechanic, great aesthetics. And we're going to be starting a new game here. I have played a little bit into this, so I do know a little bit what's going on, but I don't really want to get in the way of some of the videos and the narration, but you'll get a sense of what's going on in the game here. So let me just let this opening scene play out, and we'll talk about what this game is all about. No, I will tell you, this is a game that is a lot about discovery and exploration. So up front I'll just say that this playthrough is going to be kind of a spoiler, so if you like what you see, I do encourage you to get this game. And I'm going to be going through the whole playthrough of the game so you can have a good look at early game mechanics, late game mechanics, but just to start off with, you have kind of a very beautifully crafted world. Everything is claymation or handcrafted, and you can do your basic run around keyboard and mouse controls. Mouse controls your light, jump or space, or W or space to jump, just from your basic platformer mechanics. But the story is also kind of told in a very breadcrumby way. You get little bits and pieces of what you know, what you don't know, and that's going to play a very key role in the user experience. As you can see, you're on another world with kind of a lot to do. Let's not forget to activate this. But if there is one thing important to note about the Swapper, it is the actual mechanic, and we're going to get to that in just a little bit, but first you got to get through sort of your basic gameplay tutorial.
Now entering CCS excavation site 24 on planet 45. All off-world transport via home teleport and base installation. All flying are pre-existed for this project.
Alright, so if you press Q, you can pull up a map and you can see that we're on the excavation site, and we can scroll around just a little bit, not a lot. But we have two rooms we can go to. You see that there's a little platform there and there's a wall there, all standard puzzle platformer fare. But where this game really starts to change is with an item known as the swap gun, which is this item. If I can actually jump and get to it. Here we go. Hold the right mouse button on open space, and what do you get? The happy little outline, and you get to drop somebody. And that somebody actually controls exactly like you do, no matter which way you go. So I can drop up to 5 of myself, and we all just kind of do the same thing. You may say, hey, that's kind of crazy. You're right. You'll see how this plays into itself very well here in just a minute. You can drop yourself onto platforms and go into doors that are very Metroid-esque. But then it starts to become a game of, can you solve different puzzles that are in here? Because see, what you have to do is actually get your guy to jump correctly on this area. And hopefully doors don't crush them. There we go. But yeah, it's just this game does a lot of subtle teaching of mechanics as well. And you can have up to 5 of yourself simultaneously. But see, you have people standing on there, and then just like that, you step under some little lights and all of your clones disappear. Now, the way this game presents its story is with little memory terminals that have written dialogue, which I'll read here. This is log security memo. Body, listen, we're grateful, but to be frank, half my team refused to be in the same room as one of those swapper devices. I hardly envisage their use becoming widespread enough to justify the security precautions you've installed down here. So you get different logs, different notes, different memos, and you get exposed to things slowly. I think I can tell you who you just ejected into space. Maybe. Let's see here. The other thing you can do, though, is, of course, unfortunately, you can actually kill your clones that you create and dropping them off, but you only have 5 that you can use in the level, but you can't actually activate that door. But there is another mechanic in this game that is also vitally important. And that is your ability to not only create multiple clones, but to actually switch between them. By going up there, and then if we hit the left mouse button, bam, new person. Now, that kind of freaks me out, just in terms of what that can do to your psyche of, hey, I fully exist here, now here. It kind of reminds me of a great book that a lot of people have read, Old Man's War, especially the part where he switches to his younger army body. Let's see here, blue light. Clones cannot be created in this light, so this is one of the first wrinkles you get in terms of a puzzle, but all you do is hit that, hit there. See, I can't create a clone in that blue area, but I can up and around and down. But if I start to run, you'll see some of these platforms disappear just a little bit, but I can still switch, and we're good. Red light blocks switching rays. But, even though I can't use my other ray through there, I can drop a clone, and that'll cut out some of the lights. And there we go. Another memory terminal, log 2. Sam, I need security orb. I've been planted side for weeks. I cannot get clearance back to Theseus. Help me out. Kim says I can. I want to see my husband just as much as you do yours. So obviously something is amiss. Then we have a third console, which is just going to open a door for us. Let's see where we are on the map. A few places to explore.
The ship I came here in is fried. I have a rescue team on the way. They'll be here in a day's time. Why not? There must be something we can do.
That's not good. Even if you ejected me into space. So we're going further and further into the world, and you can see some things start to flash up here. There's a 1 here. You need some orbs to get that. You need a long-distance transport machine, but we're at a place with a teleporter. And you can see the claymation effect here. I hope it shows up well in this video. It's a very pretty looking game. Very ambitious with its visual style. But let's go ahead and go and see what we can find out in here. Another terminal. Message to quarantine. We need faster turnaround down here. The last shift was supposed to go home 6 hours ago. Instead, you got them shipping back more rock samples. They're tired. Please advise.
You can't make me do it. I won't do it.
I don't know what you won't do, lady, but you can see some of these puzzles. This is partially me discovering sort of how to do things as you go along. But as you go, a lot of these puzzles involve getting orbs. You need orbs to get keys. I want to know what that swap means. But there is kind of a gatekeeping mechanic as you do activate the teleporter. And we get to go back to the space station. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of the game, is that there's a lot of familiar mechanics, but the aesthetic and the swapping really, really make for a great experience. So let's get to it. We're back on the space station. You can see this area is a lot bigger with a lot more area to scroll around and through. Sorry, I just had to take a quick pause there. Still fighting allergies just a little bit. I've had delayed a little bit of my recording, but yeah. you see some of those messages that talk about rock samples before, and this is where I really appreciate the breadcrumb, the writing, and how the writing builds on itself. It's because when you walk by any rocks like that, you get this crazy message that comes up. Just someone saying hello. Actually, I had to do a double take and kind of crap my pants the first time that happened. We're just in the hangar, and there's already crazy rocks trying to talk to us. There's a whole other area up there. Whole other area. Don't know what that's about. Because it's not connected to where I'm trying to go. You can actually hover on the mouse over things. Mysterious rock sample, doors, obstacle. And you see I can't go up to research. But I can pass through this light. So let's see here. We can go down to Sector 1 for the public. We wait for the lift to actually get here. There we go. And just take it on down. Like I said, just love the way this game looks. Actually, I know there's a lot of great claymation examples, but it's done so well. The limits of language are the limits of knowledge. Our name was not their knowledge. They thought of us as watchers. Interesting. Grab objects by facing and holding S. Yeah, there's also some block puzzles here if I can actually get you to grab and hold on to things correctly. As some of the lighting's going a little crazy here. Well, that's pleasant. So where are we now? We're in the quarantine area, and you can see obstacle, so we have to go up. We won't be able to stop this until we get a few more orbs. So I think you know what our goal is. You got a few rooms to go into, and you got to solve, as typical for these kind of things, a puzzle per room. And you can see there's an orb, there's a terminal I can go to. But I can't drop anybody in there. Let's see. Oh, well, I just screwed that up. Alright. But what I can do is go like this, and run you all the way back over, because I can't use the little, I can't switch people in red light, but I can't drop people in blue light. But if you manipulate that correctly, you can do one or the other. So here's another terminal body. A message to Site 41. The Chief of Quarantine understands the pressure it puts you under, but stresses that these rock samples are of an unparalleled scientific interest. As such, we must request that you continue to prioritize sample transport over personnel. Now that is like distant future, screw humanity stuff right there. We have 2 orbs. We can go ahead and activate this, but in the sake of OCD video game completionists, we're going to go for this whole other area as well. But the world is the limit of thought. The limit of thought is the chain of hearers like me. I cannot speak if they cannot listen. So these rocks have a lot to say. What is where? How is where? Does where tick? We know only of the minds of our chain. You choose your chain in a dimension we do not know. So it's like 2 totally different bodies of consciousness, and of course I do have to walk through all these dialogue boxes again. Yeah, just one quick thing on the console. Let's actually see what's in this room real quick. Yeah, just another little puzzle real quick. Nothing too fancy. And the question here is, how are we actually going to get that one to be activated at the same time as the other one? That's actually a surprisingly elegant answer. So all you gotta do is, well, let me actually get my mechanics right here. You notice a gap in the platforms, and just because you're a little clone bro doesn't mean you can't actually run through things. Unfortunately, I can't necessarily jump through things either. So yeah, you get one buddy there. Let's see if I can get you to actually stay. Actually, I don't need to worry about you staying, because I can just go up here, switch like this, and you get another Monaghan orb. And I can't make that jump, mechanic you learn very quickly is if you play something, then click, you can pretty much put yourself there almost immediately. And when you pass through any of those glowing lights, all of your clones die. What a happy world. So now we're kind of at our first crossroads, you could say. We could go to the cargo, the quarters, or waste management. I guess it's not really crossroads. That's great. Well, that's fun. Alright, so we're going to get here kind of to our first crossroads area, and I'm going to go ahead and stop this here, and I'm going to keep recording. Like I said, I'm going to do a full playthrough of this game if you're interested in knowing more, but this is the Swapper. It is a really, really, really good game. It's gotten a lot of well-deserved praise just post-release, and if you do enjoy this video, feel free to subscribe, but I mean, more than anything else, definitely support the developer for this. Buy the game if you're able, or at least tell your friends about it, because it is definitely worth checking out. It's not just, oh, another Me Too iterative indie puzzle platformer. This game brings a lot to the table. So this is Way to Fail. That's all for now, and I will see you all next time with more swapping action. Sounds like something that should be in another kind of video, but hey, that's the game.